Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day early. The Swedenborgian Church of Puget Sound in the state of Washington, 10 years or so ago, invited a special guest workshop leader named Van John Ferris. And Van John was a top-tier leadership training expert. So all around the world he flew to train the highest leaders. And he was a columnist for the Huffington Post. He was an award-winning author, received many awards in leadership training. And he also was there at the Puget Sound Swedenborgian Church one day. And he told a story that is perfect for Valentine's Day. And it really expands our hearts far beyond the marriage love or the romantic love that we always seek and want. It takes us to God's love. It takes us to a very expansive and agonizing and wonderful place. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is a true story about God's love. This is what happened to him. He was traveling to India to do some leadership training, Calcutta in specific terms. And there was a friend of his who was a high-powered corporate lawyer. Her name was Michaela. And she said, Van John, I would like to go to Calcutta with you because I have 11 days of vacation and I would just like to go to India and spend my vacation there. Well, he says, fine, let's go. So she gets to Calcutta and they go off and do their leadership training. And she's walking, Michaela is walking the streets of Calcutta, and she's on her first day of vacation, and she notices a group of nuns scurrying into a little church. And she says, I think I'll follow. So she follows these nuns into this little church, and she kneels to pray in behind all the nuns that are kneeling to pray. And she's kneeling there and praying, and all of a sudden one of the nuns looks back directly at her. And she points to her. And it's Mother Teresa. And she signals to Michaela that she wants to speak with her after prayer. And she does. And Mother Teresa, being diminutive in size, she's just a tiny woman, she says to Michaela, I don't know you. Who are you? And how long are you here to help the sisters do what they do? And Michaela says, oh, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here on vacation for 11 days. And Mother Teresa says to her, remember, I'll just remind to Dan too, this is important, she's a high-powered corporate lawyer seeming to be on vacation in Calcutta. And she meets up with Mother Teresa, and Mother Teresa says, how long will you be here to help the sisters, help the poor? And she says, oh, I'm not here. But Mother Teresa says, how long? 11 days. You shall see Calcutta quite well. She goes, oh, yes, and it will be wonderful. And so Michaela says, well, what is it that needs to be done? And Mother Teresa says, well, there's 3 ways that you can help, and you could pick one of the 3 ways. And so Mother Teresa says, the first way that you could help would be to help the families take their dead loved one to a place where the body needs to be burned, and sit with them while the body is burned. She goes, what's option number 2? Mother Teresa says, oh, option number 2 would be to go to the streets and cleanse the lepers. Well, what's option number 3? And she says, well, you could go to the hospital and you could be with people as they're dying and care for them. And she says, I'll take option number 3. And so she follows Mother Teresa into the hospital, where she sees a very large room with a cement floor, with 300 to 400 people lying on the cement floor on mats and towels, actively dying. That's their hospital. And she sees that there are children and families on these mats and on these towels. And she feels an inner resistance. Of course, any of us would. And she notes, this is not something, I can't do this. And Mother Teresa hands her, Mother Teresa likely would see the look on Michaela's face. She hands her her tools. She says, these are your tools for the next 11 days. Here's a bucket. Here's a rag. And here are gloves with holes in them. Now go and care for these people. And of course, Michaela freaks out. And every fear inside of her comes to surface. Every fear, every judgment, every preconception, every barrier that she can imagine surfaces. And Mother Teresa leaves. And so for the days that she was there to be on vacation, she held the babies as they died. She held the babies' mothers. She held the babies' fathers. She held the babies' brothers and sisters. And after a certain number of days, Mother Teresa returned. And she said, remember that your face of love is the last thing that these people will see. Make sure they see love as they leave this world. And so, Mother Teresa returned after the full stay for Michaela, and she saw that Michaela's face looked different after those 11 days of caring for the dying. And she said, now take that look of love that's on your face. Take it back to America. Who you are and who all of us are is much less important than the love that we're called to be. I'll say that one again. Who you are as an individual, who I am, is much less important than the love that we're called to be. And the most important point of this story and this day and the message today is that there are going to be times when love is going to call to you and you're not going to want to do it. Think about Michaela. I imagine she said to herself, I can love, but I can't love this much. Have you ever felt that way, that life has asked you to love more than you think you can? But the important thing is not that you think you can't do it. It's not even about you. It's about loving. Loving others makes us loving. And the paradox is, and this is straight out of Swedenborg's inspired works, I believe, is that the more that we sacrifice and the more that we give and the more that we love outside of ourselves, the more truly we know who we are as a unique creation and child of God. The more we give up our time and what we think is ours, and we reach out and love and bless another, what is given back is a deeper, more intrinsic sense of our uniqueness. So it's actually not giving up the most important part of who we are, which is the essence of who God made us to be in this world and the next. So take this story with you And as Valentine's Day comes closer, and it's perfect really that it's happening on February 4th, that we're sharing this story, this true story. Take this message with you in your heart and your mind. And remember that when an opportunity comes to do what is loving, take it. Do it. And don't think that you can't love that much. I just love that some of you said that you're going to help the homeless at the shelter this week. I just love that you would want to. I love that we're going to take care of the Darling family in a special way now. I love that all of us who are in need of love and support will be an opportunity for us to reach out. Because the truth is the more we love others, the more love settles in us. May the Lord bless you and keep you this Valentine's Day.